Hello, everybody. I'm Leon Cox, General Manager Membership at Governance Institute, and I'd like to welcome you to our new online series, Managing During a Pandemic. We'll be speaking to a variety of governance practitioners with a short Q&A session over the next few weeks to share insights on how these individuals and organisations have navigated the challenging times that we all face. Today, I have the pleasure of being joined by Kate Brown, FGIA, Group Governance Counsel at SEEK. Kate, thanks for joining us today. I'll now start with our first question, which is, Kate, what was the most significant step that your organisation took to try and manage the impact of COVID-19?
Yes, well, the impact for SEEK was quite significant because SEEK operates the main job website in Australia and also in Southeast Asian countries and Latin America. And job searching changed dramatically and very quickly during COVID. So having just got through supporting customers in the bushfire affected areas in Australia, similar assistance was provided to help hirers through COVID. And then also, of course, being a tech company, it's heavily reliant on its people. So business continuity was what was vital. And fortunately, before the disruptions of COVID, they had already implemented that what you need to be able to be a fully remote workforce, like, having transitioned away from desktop computers and having the right security. So remote activation was fortunately quite easy, and it was a matter of monitoring to make sure that things like bandwidth were there and suppliers continued to operate and had the cash flow that they needed, and that you could get the component parts and software that you need to keep operating. So it got very complex very quickly.
I could imagine, and not alone there with some of the revenue challenges. Lots of businesses are challenged at the moment. What's been the most effective step that the company has taken to keep teams engaged during the pandemic?
Well, SEEK's a very large company, so I'll just speak to the approach in Australia, where there's some few thousand employees, and it was all about engagement and communication. Transparency and frequency were what they were focusing on there. So lots of all staff meetings by Zoom so that leadership could explain where the business was at and respond to employee questions. And there was assurance that the long-term approach, which has underpinned the business and the culture the whole way through, would be maintained, and that they would prioritise the employment of permanent employees, which did actually happen. So there were no job losses or pay cuts, fortunately. So it has been all about engagement and all about authenticity.
Great, and a regular engagement by the sounds of it. The last question from me is, from a governance perspective, what has kept you awake throughout COVID-19?
So I suppose that the most difficult thing is to continue to deliver on those everyday compliance requirements of a governance or company secretarial department of a listed company while everything's changing so quickly, and then also responding to the changes that we'll need for our AGM, for example. SEEK is in Victoria, and at the time of this recording, infections are high, and it doesn't look positive for a live traditional AGM. And we don't have relief for that. We are after that end date. We have to prepare our results and report from a remote environment, which is challenging. And then there are the stakeholder expectations that our reporting will include ESG reporting on how we handle the non-financial impacts of COVID. So that has been challenging. And then our Chief Information Security Officer would be kept awake by this relentless additional external attacks, and the broadening threat. The security threat landscape is just changing so much with all these cyber attacks and fraudulent activity. There's criminals who are capitalising on remote working and all the uncertainty of COVID. So a lot of additional monitoring and addressing employee awareness to respond to those risks. Very, very challenging in the tech environment.
It sure is, and I know that we've looked to provide some guidance where we can and help with some answers to those questions, but it's ever evolving. Look, Kate, I really appreciate your time during a very busy period for you, and I do hope that other members share the benefits of getting an insight in terms of what's occurred with SEEK and how you have helped manage through a pandemic. So thank you, Kate, and enjoy the rest of the time ahead. Hopefully a successful AGM around the corner and on to other things in the future.
Thank you, Liam.